Hey guys, welcome everyone. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life with another great show just for you guys right here today. So, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the love. Really appreciate that. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. If you're wondering what the master topic is for the week, well, I'm going to let you know. The topic for the week, the master topic for the week, everyone, is letting go, lifting up from judgment to joy. uh, by the way, we're in series 4, in case you're wondering. And today's granular topic is focusing on your personal growth. Series 4, show 15, episode number 4. And welcome, 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 everyone. I am so grateful that you guys are all here with me today. Thank you so much for being here. And let's get the show kicked off. But before I do that, I want to invite you to maybe head out to your kitchen or place to get a snack. Could be something hot, something cold, something healthy, something sweet or tart, or not. Totally up to you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to check out believemeachieve.com after the podcast and anytime after for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I'm your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm not only a podcast host, but I'm also a podcast coach. And it is my privilege and, of course, my pleasure to be with you once again here on the Inspirations for Your Life show. So, welcome back, everyone, to another fantastic, inspiring episode of the Inspirations for Your Life show. Of course, I'm here as your trusted guide on the journey of self discovery and transformation. Today, I'm going to be zooming in on something that shapes not just our careers, but our character, relationships, and our ability to thrive in life. See, personal growth is really the key, everyone. That is a big, big key for everyone here. And I think a lot of people don't realize that it is the key, but it is really the key. All right. It is the key. And we're going to learn a lot about this, how to thrive. Personal growth is one of the big things in our life that many people miss. So many people want to improve their lives, but they don't always know like what ends up, where to begin, or how to stay consistent. That's where this episode comes in. So I'm going to walk you through the practical, powerful insights, step by step of things, so you can create a personal growth roadmap that actually works. So grab that notebook or piece of paper or a computer or whatever you have, and start taking some of your best notes, or that app that you have that'll do it automatically. It's time to invest in you. So what are you waiting for? Let's start right now. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, that is define what personal growth means to you. Define what personal growth means to you. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't quite get what that means, but it's something that I believe is something we need to all recognize and understand. All right. So, defining what personal growth means to you. Personal growth doesn't come with a universal definition, unfortunately. And that's the beauty of it. It's actually deeply individual. For some, it means improving emotional intelligence or building stronger relationships. For others, it's mastering new skills or breaking through limiting beliefs before diving into action. Now, you must first define what growth truly looks like for you. Without that clarity, it's easy to chase goals that don't align with your values. Take a moment to ask yourself, what does becoming my best self look like? Your answer is the foundation upon which all progresses will be built. Number two, guys, set clear, meaningful goals for self improvement. Once you've defined what growth means to you, it's time to get specific and understand the goals are the milestones that guide your journey. Instead of vague resolutions like be better or get healthier, try actionable intentions like exercise 3 times a week, or read one personal development book each month, get better in my personal speaking each time that I stand up. See, goals that are not just something that you wish, those that are rooted in meaning and things that have deeply a set of matter and will mean something to you and that will keep you going when motivation wanes, because that happens. They should be challenging enough to stretch you, but realistic enough to achieve what you want. The more you clearly define your targets, the more empowered you'll feel to reach them. Number three, Identify habits that support your development. Behind every successful transformation lies a collection of consistent habits. Habits are the quiet daily choices that add up to big chances. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to journal, swapping screen time for self education, or doing a weekly reflection. The key is identifying habits that align with your goals and sticking with them even on the tough days. Personal growth isn't built on one big leap, but on hundreds of smalls. Repeat actions are important. You don't need to change everything at once. Just start with one or two habits that reinforce who you are becoming. And I think this is something a lot of people miss is that who they are right now might not be the who that they want to be, but they can believe that it will get better, right? They can believe that. And so I've said this before, guys. Belief is everything in life. I mean, belief is just everything that you could always imagine in life. And if it's not, then maybe you're wondering what's going on, right? So I want to start with the next point, which is really, really important. And that's number 4. Reflect regularly on your progress. All right. So progress can easily go unnoticed if we're not intentional about tracking it. That's why regular reflection is essential, whether it's weekly journaling, monthly self check ins, or sharing wins with a mentor. Taking time to evaluate your journey allows you to course correct and stay aligned. Reflection also helps you celebrate how far you've come, even if you've not been where you want to be yet. Looking back provides momentum to move forward, and sometimes the most profound growth moments are realized only in the hindsight. And I think that's a challenge for some people. They like wish they did it. They hope they did it. But then it's like, oh, well, why did I do it this way? Why didn't I change? And I think that's a problem for a lot of people today. All right. Number 5, embrace discomfort as part of the growth journey. See, growth and discomfort go hand in hand. When you stretch outside your comfort zone, when you say yes to something that scares you, um, that's important. Okay. Admit your mistakes. Okay. And you'll learn something totally new. You'll see that you're actually growing. All right. You're growing. It's natural to want to avoid discomfort, but if you see it as a signal of transformation instead of a warning, everything just changes in your life and sort of just leads you on the right path. Growth isn't always glamorous, right? Sometimes it's messy and uncomfortable, but every challenge you lean into adds strength to your character and depth to your journey. Number 6, seek out learning opportunities and mentorship. You don't have to do this alone. Personal growth accelerates when you open yourself up to learning from books, podcasts, courses, and especially from mentors who've walked the path before a mentor can offer insight, feedback, and encouragement when things get tough. Learning from others not only shortens your learning curve, but also expands your perspective. Surround yourself with those who elevate you, who challenge you to grow, and who model the kind of life you want to live. Growth thrives in a community of support. Number 7, guys, celebrate small wins along the way. Celebrate small wins along the way. I know that sounds like something that is so like crazy, but I'm here to tell you that it is the key to life. All right. It's easy to fixate on the end goal and forget about the steps it takes to get there. But every little win matters, whether you make it through a tough conversation, finished a chapter in a book, or resisted an old habit. You deserve to celebrate that small victories fuel momentum. And they reinforce your progress and remind you that growth is happening even when it's subtle. Make time to acknowledge your wins, no matter how small. Each one is proof that you're moving forward and that deserves recognition. And I think a lot of people in life, they miss this step. And the reason they miss it is that they're not aware of what's going on in their life. They might be too busy. And I want to allude this to some people that are on TikTok, right? So, you guys know I've been on TikTok for a little while, but I've only been streaming on TikTok for about a month now. I've been posting on TikTok for a long time, but I've only been streaming live for about a month now. I think some of the people on there have a misconception to what is actually out there. And that misconception, um, I don't know if it's because of a language barrier, if it's because they think they're better than everybody else. I don't know what it is, but it's really crazy. Now, what I want to do is share some, as you know, personal stories, okay, about each one of these points. All right. And I hope that this is going to not just reinforce what I've been saying tonight, but that it's going to give us all a clearer, let's say, direction of where our life can go when we have the right tools, guys. We are limitless. You might say, John, well, where do I get the right tools? Home Depot, Lowe's? Well, no, those aren't the tools I'm talking about. I'm talking about the tools that are the ones for life, the ones that you need to be able to make changes, the ones that affect your daily interactions, your relationships, right? I think that's the biggest thing I can say with you guys is those are the ones that matter. And they're not the ones that are taught in school. Unfortunately, they're not the ones that are taught in school. And the reason they're not taught in school is because I think people don't understand that true connections come from what we believe inside us. What we believe inside us. Now, again, I know that sounds like so like crazy, but it's the truth, guys. It's the truth. And nobody wants to hear the truth, right? That's the big problem. That's really the big problem. So, a personal growth in your life means something different for everyone. Years ago, I was juggling some things and projects, and thinking success was all about numbers and just expansion. But one day, after a particularly stressful week, I realized I felt empty, like something was missing from me. That's when I paused and asked myself, what does personal growth really mean to me? I realized it wasn't about how much I accomplished, but about becoming more emotionally aware, more present, and more fulfilled in life that I was every day. That clarity started to shift everything for me, almost like overnight. I started making decisions based on my values and not just outcomes. And that made a difference. People a lot of times do things for the only outcome, but if you do things only for the end result, you're going to miss so much in life, guys, so much. My story about number 2, set clear, meaningful goals for self-improvement. I remember one January when I decided I wanted to be more productive. Pretty good idea, right? But totally vague about it. After a few weeks of spinning my wheels in circles, I redefined my goal. I committed to reading one book per month related to leadership or communications at the time. And that small but clear target helped me track my growth, build confidence, and start conversations that truly enriched my life. Now, the more specific I got, the more motivated I felt, and the easier it became to actually make progress. So that's a very good point, John, right? When we are motivated, right, our dopamine, right, our serotonin levels, they change and they get us to have that natural high feeling. It's that natural high feeling that makes us want to do more, right? We've all done exercise before, right? And maybe you don't want to start, right? Because you're tired. But once you get going, whether it's doing lifts, squats, whatever, you feel good after the tiredness kind of goes away. You feel good that you did it, right? Feels really good. All right. So, number 3, my story about identifying habits that support your development. One of the game changers for me in life was establishing a morning routine. I started waking up 30, now I wake up sometimes 45 minutes earlier to stretch, journal, and review my goals. At first, it felt like a chore, but after a couple weeks, I noticed how much more grounded and focused I was during the day. Now, that tiny habit that I started helped me to stay connected to my bigger visions. Even when life got hectic, it's proof that the smallest habits can create massive momentum if we stick with them. So, number 4 is important. Reflect regularly on your progress. I once had a mentor challenge me to write down 3 things. I was proud of every single Friday. I thought it was a simple exercise, but over time, it became one of the most impactful habits I've ever adopted. It helped me see how much I was actually growing, even when it felt like I was standing still. The weekly reflection not only boosted my confidence, it helped me make smarter choices because I could see patterns and learn from them. Sometimes clarity comes from simply pausing to look back. And I think many of us get caught in the loop or the merry-go-round that we don't think to look back. Forget about wanting to look back. We get so wrapped up in the minutiae of life that we don't look back. And I think that's a big challenge for a lot of people. My story about number 5, embracing discomfort, is part of the growth journey. I'll never forget the first time I agreed to speak in front of a large audience. My palms were sweating. Now, I'm not talking about 10 people. I'm talking about a few thousand people. My voice was a little shaky. I wanted to run out the back door, but this is not me. It was just this new thing. I love speaking in front of people, but I love it was just because of the topic, because of all the people. There were just so many variables. But now I'll speak in front of a million people. I don't care. But I stayed in my composure. I delivered the talk, and afterward, I felt something shift inside me. That fear that I faced became fuel. It taught me that discomfort isn't something to avoid, it's something to walk through. Every time I face something scary or uncomfortable since then, I remember that the moment I had there and how it changed me. Some people don't want to walk through it. They want to look for ways to shirk it or get around it. Why? Because they think it'll be easier. People want to avoid discomfort. They'd rather stay cold in the bed than get up and risk something that could happen or not happen to them for that day. Number 6, guys, seek out learning opportunities and mentorships. A teaching moment. When I was first getting into podcasting, I had no idea where to begin. I reached out to someone I admired in the space, and by my surprise, they offered to mentor me, give me a few pointers. Their guidance had saved me probably about a good 6 months of work through some trial and error. Of course, I had to do a lot more work, but I was able to hit the ground running instead of run and keep stopping. They pointed me toward some books, shared some hard won lessons, and reminded me that asking for help isn't a weakness, it's a strength. That mentorship didn't just help my podcast, it helped in my world grow as a communicator and a coach and continue to expand my engineering passions. And not only that, it's actually what's took me back to school at Montclair State University, pursuing my master's in AI and then eventually my PhD. Yeah, I think these are the things that make life worth living. These are the things that a lot of people don't want to talk about because they think they're going to be too hard. And you know what? They're not easy. All right. Success is not for the faint of heart. Okay. You've got to be able to take some punches. Number 7, celebrate small wins along the way. Early on, I used to brush off my wins. I'd say things like, it's no big deal, or anyone can do that. But then I noticed how drained I felt. So I started doing something different. I celebrated every small victory that I had, from a podcast to an article I wrote, a video I produced. I treat myself from anything to a cup of coffee, share the win with a friend, or just take the moment to acknowledge it, or even buy myself a special gift. One time, after completing a 30-day journaling challenge, I threw a mini pizza party for myself. It might sound silly, but it kept me motivated. Joy fuels progress, and those little celebrations matter more than we think. And what did I do? I ordered, I think I ordered like 6 different small mini pizzas with different flavors. Now, I didn't finish all of them, but I had the pizza party a couple days, not all in the same row, and then I froze some of it. So I think it's important to do things like this, right? When we say anybody could do it, it robs us of our character. It robs us of who we are, and not only who we are, but who we can be. Who we can be. And I think that's a very important statement, guys, a very important statement. I know when you constantly apply a lot of these principles, you'll not only experience massive growth, you'll feel more confident, fulfilled, and empowered. See, personal growth is not a destination in life. I've said this before. It is a lifestyle. So thank you so much, because it's you that's going to make the difference. I can lead you to the water, but I cannot make you drink, and I don't want to. And maybe you're saying to me, John, well, I don't want to do that. Well, you can. You can. Maybe you're just scared because you don't know what to expect. Maybe that's the reason. Or maybe you're fearful that you're going to be more successful than you believe possible. Maybe you think that if you actually are that successful, that you're going to lose your friends, that you're going to lose how you fit in with life. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe that's the case. Maybe it isn't. But if it is the case, then how do we transform our lives to something amazing? Well, I think it comes down to celebrating those small wins, right? Celebrating those small wins. And if we can celebrate those small wins together, I think that's when we actually have the ability to be empowered. Okay. The ability to be empowered. I think that's a very, very important thing. So let's reflect again here and recap. Personal growth isn't a one time event or a one trick pony. It's an ongoing, deeply committed personal journey of an experience. As we explore today, growth begins when you define what it truly means for you. And that's inside you, inside your mind, inside your heart, right? Not what other people think it is. And without that internal clarity, it's easy to follow someone else's path and lose sight of your own values. But when you tune into your own personal definition of what success is for you, that's when it'll click. You start setting meaningful goals, reaching those aspirations, building supportive habits, and walking a path of success that aligns with your authentic self calling. Remember, growth doesn't always feel glamorous. It often shows up as discomfort, resistance, or slow progress. But those are signs you're evolving. By reflecting regularly, seeking mentorship, and celebrating even the smallest wins, you'll stay grounded and motivated through every season. Surrounding yourself with a community that supports your evolution can be one of the most powerful tools you have, because we grow stronger together. I want to talk about something interesting. I had a group of friends actually at this charity that I believe was really supportive of me. And just like any other group, they have their hand out and they're ready to take. And there wasn't a lot of receive for me. And I didn't join the group to get receiving, but it seemed like the giving was way up here and the receiving was barely off the ground. And forget justifying it as a business expense. That was a complete loss. But I literally felt when I went to these events that I was getting drained. And so what I started doing is understanding that if I want to go, it's fine, but don't make that my life. Don't make that event my life, because I used to do that. And you know what? I felt horrible for it. There's even people now that I don't go to the group that often that have started to disrespect me. Now, why did they do that? Because I can't keep giving to them. This reminds me of an old parable happened with my dad, because he was an elected official. In addition to running his own company, my mom ran her own company. That, you have to understand one thing in life. And I think many people, they miss it. They miss this. And I think the reason that they miss it is that they don't understand, what's going on or how it's going to impact them, and that we grow stronger. Well, my dad would get phone calls every single night after I come home from school. The phone would ring, and I'd answer the phone. Normally I'd answer the phone after a couple rings. And first I would answer the phone. I'd be like, in the very beginning, I'd be like, good evening, Morley residents. How can we help you? And but later on, that kind of went by the dodo bird. We just say hello, right? For security reasons and things like that. I also didn't chase the phone on the first ring. I would let it ring like one or two rings. Why? Because the caller ID wouldn't flow through. But the other reason is that when you jump for the phone, it lets the person know that their life is more important than yours. You need to balance that. Okay. So let the phone ring like at least two times. Don't let it ring four or five, but two times is fine. Two, second or third ring, and then answer it. Well, this person would call, another person would call. You know what they would ask? They'd say, "Oh, is your dad home?" I was like, yeah, we're just sitting down for dinner." "Oh, well, listen, my brother-in-law just got out of school. He was wondering if, your dad could help him get a job." Yeah, I'll have him give you a call back. He's just finishing his steak. It's gonna cold. I don't want him to. Oh, and sometimes my dad would just get up, and it got to the point where people were calling so much that we had to start hiring a service to trap our calls. We even had some people that were threatening us. So by trapping our calls, they would dial the number, and our number that we had was a different number temporarily. And so they would answer the call, and then once they verified certain information, they would give them the real number. But it stopped people at the pass. But you know what happened? As soon as my dad got out of office, I'm going to say like within literally a day or two after he got out of office, the phone stopped ringing. And the people that were coming around him were only around him for what he could do for them. And this taught me something very interesting. There's some powerful people all over the place. But when you give these people too much power, all right, the problem with that is that they think they're God and no one's God, right? Only God is God. And that's a big problem. But when people disrespect you just because they have a little bit more or they have something better, I don't care if it's an education or money, whatever it is, you have to respect that. Don't let it become something that abuses others. That is the really serious problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Be sure to check out all my great content at believemeachieve.com. Have yourself an amazing rest of your evening. And remember, focus on that personal growth and don't let others dictate your life. It's yours. Take charge of it.